So with the PC gaming show happening today, they showed off quite a few things that I'm actually excited about that we're going to be discussing over the next couple of days. But there is one game that was shown today that, in my opinion, is like when I say games are on my radar and I'm looking forward to things, this is easily one of my most anticipated games. I'm guessing of the year. I don't know when it's actually coming out, but what this game is a new survival game called Icarus. And if you guys are like me and you like sci-fi and games like Star Citizen, and if you watch shows on Netflix like Lost in Space, which I actually have been doing as of late, then most likely this one is going to be exciting to you as well. Icarus is a free-to-play, multiplayer, cooperative survival game that is actually set in space, which is fucking awesome. Ever since I watched the first season of Lost in Space on Netflix, I was like, dude, a cooperative game based in space, dropping on a planet, having to survive and use the elements to your advantage. My God, that would be incredible. And literally here we are. So the Steam page is up. It's coming soon. You can't buy it yet. But what their description is an alien world for the taking. Explore, survive, and make your fortune if you dare. Icarus is, again, a free-to-play multiplayer cooperative survival game with persistent metagame progression. A resource-rich frontier world has opened up for human exploration and exploitation, where hopefuls claim prospects for a limited time to mine for exotic resources. So this is being made by Rocketwerks, which, if you guys don't know who that is Dean Hall's new studio. Dean Hall was the creator of DayZ, originally with Bohemia, and I have to say, a lot of people are going to be shitting on it because DayZ is still in a piss-poor state. And they kind of address it on the PC gaming show, which I wasn't expecting. The host literally asked, like, what do you have to say to people who are going to criticize you for abandoning DayZ? And obviously there's politics involved, but Dean Hall was pretty open, and he said that the direction that he wanted to take DayZ was a direction that Bohemia didn't want to go. The direction that they wanted to go is a direction he didn't want to go. So he kind of alluded that there is some sort of clash at that studio, and that's why he kind of left.
I'm curious, I mean, there's so many elements, there's so much ambition. I know there's a lot of PC gamers that maybe feel like you abandoned DayZ, other projects. What do you have to reassure those people that you're committed to Icarus?
Well, I think a big thing for me is Bohemia was an existing company, and I definitely felt like I was pulling them in a direction that was hard for them to go. And they probably felt like they were pulling me in a direction that I didn't want to go. And it's really been a bit of a struggle for me to develop and not only the studio, but myself as well. There was a whole bunch of things I had to learn. I had to learn many of those things through failure. The solution there was to make sure it wasn't just a Dean Hall game, but it was a game built by incredibly skilled people. And we managed to assemble, I think, definitely one of the best teams I've ever worked with, an exceptional concept team through to a technical and production team as well.
So now he has his own studio, and one thing I will say is one of the developers that used to work on Dead Matter, I believe, is a contractor. He's the one who worked on the vehicle implementation, or I should say the first passive vehicle implementation. His name is Abiscuits in our Discord. I guess he works with Dean Hall on this game, which is fucking awesome. So yeah, that's just a little side note. Like, I love when indie developers get to, bump up to a huge project like this. This is super sweet. So the Steam page describes this basically: while navigating each prospect's unique challenges, players must collect meta resources to permanently progress, create advanced technologies, and take on longer missions. So basically, the way it's described by Dean Hall is you have almost like a space station that is up kind of orbiting a planet, and that is kind of looked at as your apartment in GTA. So that's like your central hub. That would be like your hideout in Escape from Tarkov. And then you can choose to go on what they call prospects, which you basically drop either with a crew or solo. I don't know how many players it's going to be. My guess is it's going to be 4 or 5, somewhere around there. But you guys drop with a limited amount of time to basically get resources, build craft technologies for your drop, and basically take all of the resources that you gather and take it back up to your space station, and you can build stuff with them. Now, I don't know the extent of what you can craft. We don't really have a lot of information yet, but the way they were explaining it is at the beginning of the game, you're introduced to almost like a 20-minute prospect. So at the end of it all, if you don't make it off the planet in the 20 minutes, that character and everything on them fucking dies. If you go down and, like, let's say you get attacked by a creature that's on the planet, players can revive you in some capacity, but after the 20 minutes are up, you're done. And then as you level up and you kind of like build out your character and start advancing in level, you get access to like multiple day drops, which might end up being like a couple of hours. And you're going through like a day and night cycle where you know, the dangers of the world kind of change. So you start off with like 20-minute drops, and then you can eventually work your way up to like longer missions, which are just way more dangerous. And I fucking love that idea. So they says use your time wisely or be left empty-handed or even left behind. Calculate the risks, stretch your endurance and resources. How far are you willing to go? And the cool thing about this idea, which I'm actually just thinking about as I'm recording this, is this gives them the opportunity to create so many different types of biomes. If you guys remember watching Interstellar, when they dropped on that water planet and they had to leave the dude behind because he got bodied, that would be an incredible mission to do. You have to go down, collect some sort of liquid, some sort of chemical, or whatever the case is, in a water planet, or a forest planet, or a desert planet. They could do so many different things here. And I don't know how big these worlds are going to be. I can't imagine you're going to be able to like walk along an entire fucking planet. But if it's a larger area, it would allow them to create a more detailed, kind of smaller environment, which, you know, when we talk about games like Star Citizen, yeah, you can land on a planet, but there's nothing there. It looks nice, but there's nothing. So at least with this, they're able to create like points of interest and create so many different styles of environments for you to survive in, which is fucking awesome. So like just the idea of a game like this. Now, granted, it's not like PvP, it's all co-op, which I actually really like as well. The only thing that I am questioning, and this is to do with, I guess, the game's pacing, when you're dropping into like a 20-minute like orbital prospect and you drop down, I don't really see the point. Like they say you can craft shelters and gear to survive the elements and wildlife, and they're showing building like huge stacks looking like Fortnite out here. I don't see the point in that if you're only going to be on the planet for, you know, a set number of hours or minutes or whatever. The cool thing that would make this, like they're talking about persistence and stuff, is if you drop down, you have a 20-minute orbital, you drop down, you start to build, you start to craft, and you build a little shelter. And then when you can drop down again, so it's not like an Escape from Tarkov where it's like it resets every time you drop in, you drop right back down where that planet is and where all your stuff was, and you can continue building on that. And then once you get like the 2 or 3 day orbital prospects, you can drop down and spend a lot more time around the shit that you've crafted. We need to see the pacing. We need to see how the game works from basically start at the space station all the way to coming back and jumping back onto the space station. That's what I'm still kind of trying to figure out. Graphically, I think the game looks pretty good. It definitely has an early access vibe, and I'm guessing, you know, Dean Hall, the king of DayZ, is probably going to be going to early access, but I'm excited. I really want to see the gameplay loops because this could be incredible. And it's free to play, which I got to see it work. I got to see, if you're talking about the industry and the business side of things, how are they going to plan to basically monetize this thing and keep recurring revenue going? If it's free to play, there's always a caveat, there's always a catch, and that's gonna be the ticket. Like, is this game going to be something, or is it going to be just another, you know, pay to win? Like, we got to see how that's going to work. That's a question mark for me right now. But as of right now, all the information that we have, I'm digging it. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I'm very curious. This is a content creator haven. because they take the idea of dropping in and having that risk reward factor of like an Escape from Tarkov in a more survival like element. And I could see people like creating, you know, YouTube series of drops. We drop in, this is what happens, do we live, do we die? And the streaming capabilities of this, I see a lot of entertainment coming out of this game. If it's good, if it's a real free-to-play good game, and if everything works properly. Let me know what you guys think down below. My name is Big Fry. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one.